Do you believe that too much video games effect on social skills? Well, given that sentence, I would guess you play a lot of video games based on the grammar and structure, and also the fact that you put a space before the question mark. That's a little unusual. So I was gonna say no, but if you play a lot of video games, perhaps there's a case to be made. Dude, I was out somewhere. I was like talking to my roommate. We were at a dinner or something. We were waiting for our food. We were talking. We're going back and forth. And right before this, when we went to order, there's this old man trying to order with his wife, and like it took them probably like 10 minutes to order food. Like the place we're at is not fancy. It's literally just fried chicken. It's a hot chicken spot. They get fried chicken, and like they can't figure out what the sides are available. She was like, "I need a salad." He's like, "She wants a salad." They're like, "It's a fucking hot chicken place. We got fries. We got fucking, you know, mac and cheese. That's about it. We got nothing else. I mean, these are our sides. That's what we got." And that, you know, they had this long conversation. It took these old people like 10 minutes to order. Unbelievably useless at this order. I couldn't believe how long it took them to navigate a menu that literally has like there's two meals. You either get the strips or you get the sandwich. And after that, it's you pick a side. There's two sides. That's it. It's not a complicated menu. They order, my roommate and I order, we sit down. We're sitting down and we're talking about stuff, and he asked me a question. He said something about like, "Hey, yeah, what's the processor you're thinking about getting?" And I was like, "Oh, let me look it up." So I went on my phone and I started scrolling, and I went to look up what the processor I wanted to get is. And this old man walks up and he goes, "You know," like real loudly. So I look up at him and he goes, "What do we do before we had those phones and we had to just do stuff? You know what we did? We talked to each other." And I just looked at him and I was like, "Yeah." He asked me a question, so I was looking something, and then you know how old people are. They don't fucking listen. They just talk over you. So I was like, "Oh yeah," he asked me a question, so I goes, "You know, we just had to talk to each other. These days, these kids, they just look at their phones." And I go, "Well, I actually talk for a living. It's my job to talk for a living. So I do plenty of talking, and I interact with people in front of huge audiences all over the world." And in my head, I'm like, "You stupid fucking bitch. You just come up to my table and start shit talking me because I looked at my phone? You fucking idiot." So I was like, "Yeah, I actually talk for a living. It's my job." The way he looked at me, I could tell he was like, "Shit. How am I going to lecture this kid?" And he's just like, "Yeah, I mean, these kids these days, these young kids, what are they even going to do without their phone?" And I'm just like, "I'm just fine. I talk for a living in front of people all the time, and I stare at my phone a lot. Like, I fucking... Go get your food, old fuck. The clock's a ticking. All right, man? Keep it moving." Jesus Christ. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "You can just come up to me and start talking shit on me in the middle of dinner after I waited 10 minutes for you to figure out a menu with 4 items? You're just gonna come up to me and start lecturing me about life in the middle of..." You picked the wrong motherfucker, too. If I was somebody who didn't have any social skills and I was just like, "Oh, yeah," he would have been so happy, you know? He would have been so happy. But I was like, "Dude, he asked me a question, so I looked at my phone, and now you're over here lecturing me about life? Hey, man, my life was much more peaceful when I wasn't talking to you and I was looking at my phone. It was way better. In fact, I can't even begin to explain the magnitudes it was better before you came up." And not only that, it's not like it's in a public area. We're pulled to the side on a table. It's just 2 people. This table's head to head. It's just like a normal little table. And he just came up and fucking was like, "Oh, back in my..." I'm like, dude, come on, bro. Have you ever used a phone? You know how nice it is to have access to the entire world at the touch of your hands? It's fantastic. I do so much talking. I talk for hours and hours and hours straight every single day. The last thing I need to do is spend more time talking. It's crazy. You know, the messed up thing is that he was there with his wife, and what do you think his wife was doing? She's over there looking at her phone because this guy's talking to us. So when you ask about social video games ruining your social skills, nah, it's just fine. You need a healthy balance of both. I bet you that wife wished she spent the last 40 years on a phone. Jesus. KDL. See, the reason KDL is here is because he's that old boomer that was yelling at me at the fucking... I didn't say any names, but it was this guy, Kenny, this old boomer. He was there just, "What are you kids doing looking at your phones, bitch?" He was just yelling and shit. I was like, oh, God. Shut the fuck up, old man. Time is passing you by. That's what I had to tell him. I was like, come on, man.